Hi there, my name is John. I'm going to narrate this Scrabble game I played against Mythili at the 2015 Decathon in Melbourne. Coming to this game, Mythili led me 3-2 on head-to-head, and this was our next meeting. It was round 3 of the tournament. At this stage we were both 1 win and 1 loss. So as you can see there, my first rack is 6 1-point tiles and the Y. At this stage I'm just trying to get rid of the Y, get it on the double letter score, and hopefully not open too much up defensively. I chose, as you can see here, I'm about to play. So I play a Tony, missing 24. The slightly better Notary in the same spot, which would have scored 2 more points. I'm not going to focus much on what Mythili did. You'll be able to see her racks, but I'm going to more focus from my point of view. Now I won't be speaking the whole match. I'll let you just watch and only put my thoughts in when the opportunity comes. What I'm looking to do here, I've picked up the blank, and there's obviously a few bonuses, or a few potential bonuses that could go down depending what Mythili does. Wanting to get the triple word score, which means either starting or ending in an A. And if possible, I like to make the blank an awkward letter to make it trickier for her to bingo through herself. This move surprised me a bit. I wasn't expecting her to play there. Obviously her tiles weren't that great. So the triple lane is available, so I can bingo using the triple word score. And so I have to start or end in A, and there was 2 options. There was Triennia ending in A, Triennia, but I preferred this other one, which you will see in a second if you haven't figured it out already. That's the C for cat. And I like that there, the bingoing off a C is a bit trickier. And arithmetic also. I'm not sure what I was going to say, I lost my train of thought, sorry. So I'm off to a good start here, 80 in front. Mythili has a shot in hand. And as you can see, my letters, not the greatest pickup, but not terrible either. So we'll just see what she does. So up here I'm weighing up a few options. Obviously trying to get rid of the U, as that's my worst letter, as well as at least one of the O's, preferably 2 O's. Looking at potentially UNCO, UNCO. So, unsurprisingly, Mythili's opened the board up. It means there's lots of spaces to bingo now. There's down the top or up the bottom. Got that muddled up. But there's not really anywhere to play a 7-letter word. If I want a bingo, there's only 8-letter words to play. And as you can most likely see via my letters, there's not really going to be a bonus on this turn. So I think this was a mistake, probably the first mistake I made, the first major mistake. I was really struggling to see a score, and when I struggle to see scores, I often change without thinking more. Quackle, which is an analysis program, reckons croon, C-R-O-O-N, through the R in aranitic and hooking onto the N, second N in funner. That scores 16, which, given my rack, would have been quite decent, leaving OUS, which could be a potentially good leave, could also go quite badly. Nowhere to play Unco, which is what I was trying to find at the time. Actually, now that I look at it, there is a spot next to the R in funner. Would have only scored 10. Still more likely to be better than my choice to change. And in this situation, I kept NOS. When I first saw these letters in the game, I got really excited, thinking I could play mongoose onto the E in aranitic. Then it took me a second to realise I didn't quite have the letters, needed another O and one less S. So this tournament at Melbourne is also always a great tournament. It's always held in the week between Christmas and New Year. So we see Mythili change her mind a few times. It's a 10-game tournament in Melbourne. It always has a great field of players. I didn't know YOOP, so we head over to the computer to check it. And it's there. So we head back. 33. So anyway, this tournament Melbourne, it's 10 games, always has a strong field. This year, there was some David Eldar, Alistair Richards, Naween Fernando were all there, and all three of those are top 100 players in the world. So it's always a good challenge. So the lead's back to 26 now. My turn, so a decent score will keep me 40 to 50 in front. And on this move I assumed I couldn't play a bingo. I couldn't get, so without the bingo it's a matter of balancing your rack and trying to get the best score you can whilst leaving the best letters. I tend to err too much on the side of rack balance and don't go for enough score. That's generally the main problem with my game. I think there was actually a bingo here. I'm not sure if anyone spotted it. Maybe if any top level players are, but there was a bingo playable, which I'll tell you in a second.
20.
So I play Moggs for 20. It takes the lead back up to 46.
27.
The bingo was playable in 2 spots. It was an 8-letter word, osmosing, O-S-M-O-S-O-I-N-G, through the I in aranitic, or any of the I's in aranitic. Fortunately, I got away with not seeing the bonus, as I've picked up one here. You may see on my score sheet there's some little numbers to the side of the words, and that's how many letters left in the bag. I count down from the very start of the game exactly how many letters are in the bag, and just gives me that little bit of extra info towards the end of the game if I need it. I thought this was a bit strange. It's not like Mythili to dump 2 letters like that. So she's obviously close to a bingo. She was also just opening up another spot to bingo if she does get it. The first thing I saw was jettison, but then I needed another T and there wasn't one. But there are a few other options. I had a bit of a brain fart and completely missed the 7-letter word on offer, which would have scored a few more than the 8-letter word that I did end up playing.
$66.
So my lead's now 99. I always find that if I can get to a 100-point lead, it's certainly not game over, but it really puts me in the box seat, and it's really hard to come from 100 plus behind. This was interesting, having such a consonant heavy rack, only one vowel, but on the other hand there's lots of scoring potential. 5 of my letters are actually worth more than 1 point. But without an extra vowel it could be hard to play them. So far I've definitely had the better run of the tiles. Mythili's struggled for the most part, whilst I've picked up 2 bingos already. And this just made the board even more open. If you just look at the board, there's places to play bingos just about everywhere. So, despite the fact I have a strong lead, I've got to be very wary, because it won't take much for Mythili to get right back in the game. Obviously at this point I don't know what she has on her rack. So I'm looking at a few things here. The best play scores 23 and actually leaves the vowel in my rack, but I actually didn't know the word, which was Zimb, Z-I-M-B, and that was through the I in tiding, and didn't know it, which is unusual. I thought I knew most of my 4s, so I played Z here, which is worth 26.
26.
But as you can see, it's leaving me quite vulnerable in that I don't have any vowels on my rack, and I'm not guaranteed to pick up any. One thing I forgot to mention before, when I played jointers, there was also another high scoring play available, which was jibes, and that was through the V in Varia, and that would put the J on the triple letter score and the whole thing as a double word. And that would have scored 64. So, not quite as much as Jointers, but potentially it would have, yeah, a non-bingo move scoring almost as much as a bingo. I failed to look for it. But Jonty's was better than both of them as it scored a few more, scored about 10 more. I really had no clue what to do here. I really was just waiting for Mythili to put down her move because there was really nothing I could see for myself. So it was really, I was just really hoping she'd give me a spot to do something. So the board's just starting to become a bit more closed up, but there are still plenty of spots to bingo, and she is only one bingo behind. So I certainly can't get complacent yet. And I was tossing up between two different options here. The first was BAM. And the second was named. And BAM making OBE and EMS up underneath cover where Mythili's just gone. And named in the exact same spot, making 1 ONE and then M's and the RE, so the parallel play. BAM actually scores slightly more, I think. I can't remember what the maths was. And I almost played it because it kept the vowel, but I chose named because it really got rid of 2 extra letters. And given that I was really struggling for vowels, I felt leaving less letters on my rack was good, even if it did ditch my only vowel. Quackle analysis put the 2 side by side. It couldn't really split the difference and work out which is better. I don't like B's. I really don't like B's. I find them very clunky and hard to score with. I do like C's though. I find, even though the C doesn't work for 2-letter words, I find it flexible in many other ways that the B isn't. And I picked up 1 vowel, so I'm still really struggling. But I am 100 in front still. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but my phone's going off. So again, I'm not really sure what to do. I'm waiting for Mythili to make a move. I am eyeing off that triple word score at the top, on top of cover. But I really assumed she would take it, but she's gone down the side. It was a clever little move. I rushed this move here. I played GAK, G-A-K, because I really hate the K. It's a letter I really struggle with and just want to get rid of it as soon as I get it. But GAB, G-A-B, would have been slightly better, even though it scored a bit less. Would have kept the K, and potentially for the CK combination would have been beneficial on the next turn. So GAK and GAB at the top, making gems on top of cover. The other move which was worth considering was Tragic, through the R in turf.
34.
And then the GI in using the G in Mogs and the I in Aranitic. And that scored a little bit less. It would have been interesting, making Zeta ZEDA, which is a hook I often forget about. Anyway, I've done GAK, and I'm now beyond 100 in front, and I've picked up the blank. So at this point I really feel the game's in my hand, because even if Mythili does come back with a bingo, I have the blank and I can really really push on here. It's gonna, I really feel like I'm in the box seat at the moment. even though I can't bingo this turn. So Martha's gone to open up again. It's a little bit risky from her point of view, but she doesn't have much choice. So with the letters I've got there and the board as it is, as I complete my tile tracking, there actually was a bingo playable, which I didn't know. Have a look and see if you can spot it. It's an 8-letter word. I'm not really sure what to do here. I'm just trying to block, but at the same time score. And as soon as I saw the move, which I'm about to play, I played it. It took me a while to see it, but it allowed me to get the C on the triple letter score. But as I said, there was a bingo which I didn't see. I'll tell you the bingo.
26.
So clout leaves me with BR, so I'm still stuck with that B, but I do have the blank, so I'm not too worried. Plus I've got this 100-point lead. Club root was the bingo, CLUBROOT. Making the blank an O and also playing through the O in Vower. And at this point, this is where I really felt I'd won. Mythili changes. And I've got scoring options. So I really feel like, as long as I don't make any major stuff-ups, the game's mine for the taking here. 100 up with a shot in hand. As I said, I don't like B, so I'm really looking to get rid of it. But I do like P's. I find P's quite good for bingo, so getting rid of the W and the B is really the no-brainer here. And highlight the Quackle agrees, and there isn't really anything else to consider than the move I did choose. Yeah,
26.
So Webb puts me 126 in front, keeping the blank. Apart from the Q and the X in the bag, everything else is bonus friendly. And I've picked up some great letters, so
32.
Mythili played that turn fairly quick, playing WHEE for 32. So the lead's back to under 100, but I've got this awesome rack. It's just a matter of what bingo I play and where. I spent a really long time on this move here. I was looking at bingos ending in T for... Sorry, 8-letter words ending in T coming onto tiding to get that triple word score. Words starting with D, off named, to get the triple word score there. And also looked at words starting with C next to Aranitic. We should get the triple word score down there. But I also considered defensively. I felt playing onto the T at the top, even if it did get me the triple word score. I actually did see Bingo Parodist up there was playable, Parodist. I was going to do that, but then that potentially left her a monster score underneath, coming off the P onto the triple word score below. So I didn't want to do that. And then I looked at some 7s, and maybe some 7s that fit if they killed the board a bit more. And yeah. I'm currently studying a diploma, and my diploma trainer is always going on with me about how I overthink things and make it more complicated than it needs to be. And I think I did that in this situation. I went too defensive, and there was really very little need to. I didn't need to go that defensive. I just needed to play a bingo without opening too much up, and the 2 bingos off the D named, I saw both, and either of them would have been the best play, but I was worried. I don't know what I was worried about, but I ended up choosing a rather crappy bingo elsewhere. So yeah, I certainly did overthink this. I've just noticed on the scoreboard I've given Mythili an extra 1,000 points. Or extra 2,000 points really. That's a mistake obviously. And I've saved all the file now and can't be bothered going back, so that's going to make the video here I am, still overthinking, not sure what to do. Yeah, as I said, there are lots of bonuses playable. Parodist was the one I saw off the top triple word score, and I'm glad I didn't do that because it would have left me vulnerable. And this one was just, it was a silly move, really silly move.
66.
It was actually defensively weaker than the other one, which was what I was trying to avoid. But I am 170 in front towards the end of the game, and there's really no way Mythili can come back from this. Four tiles left in the bag, and I've picked up some absolute rubbish, 4 A's. But it really doesn't matter, especially since I've got the X, which I can score with. The X is a very versatile letter.
43.
So Mythili scores 43 for hell, but I'm still 100 plus in front. And the letters that she has left I've tile tracked, so I know what she's got here, and I know that she can't bingo and can't come back with what she's got. So at this point, it's just about playing out the remainder of the game. Next to Sophia, there's a spot for the X both ways, which I will take once I've done my tracking. I really got the better letters throughout the whole game here.
$57.
So the lead is now what? 150. You know, as I double check the bag there, make sure it's fully empty. Now, I certainly can't go out on my next move. For those unaware, going out refers to getting rid of all your letters at the end of the game. I just want to thank Mythili for letting me film this game. It's a little bit disconcerting to have a camera on top of your opponent's head. But she was great with it, and she was more than happy for me to share this. So thank you very much, Mythili, and thank you for supplying your racks as well for us to be able to see what you've got. It is a bit scary, a bit daunting, putting the details of your game out there for everyone to nitpick. But the Scrabble community is great, and that it's very encouraging, and it's a way to learn. I'm certainly not the world's best player, but I do like to challenge myself to get better, and I do like learning, and I really do like a bit of constructive criticism from better players that are better than myself. I'm not sure what Mythili is doing here. I think she's just working out the best way to get rid of the Q, so she's not stuck with it at the end. And she's just trying to make sure she hasn't missed any potentially high scores that will minimise the margin. I noticed the game next to us between Nick Ivanovsky and Alistair Richard is winding to a close. I'm pretty sure, yep, Alistair, who just walked past the camera, I'm pretty sure he went on to win the tournament. I could be mistaken.
+4.
Oh, here she goes. So she plays Quilt for 24. And right here, I'm just assessing my options, working out what the best score is. Also working out what she's likely to do, and seeing if she has a potentially high score, a 30 or 40 point play, making sure I block it. Just covering all bases.
Yeah.
Mythili's about to play the remaining letters. There was a misscoring in this game. Mythili overscored one of her moves by 1 point. But we didn't, neither of us noticed, and so that's the score that stands.
Two for me.
So that's the end of the game. So thanks guys for watching. I hope it's been great, and I'll do this again sometime.
463 to 316.